Okay, I'm ready. If you'd like to unmute.
I think I am unmuted. Everybody hear me? Bob O'Connor, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'd like to call to order this Thursday, December 4th, 2025 meeting of the Madison Planning and Zoning Commission to order. Tonight in attendance, we have, I'm going to do it alphabetically, Mike Bogda, Michelle Clark, who's a new member, and we'll get an introduction from her, who's an alternate, Max Caroon, an alternate who
Is not new anymore.
is not new anymore. There you go. Jeff Downs, John Duza, and Bob O'Connor on Zoom. Absent tonight are Andy Rubin, Janet Peckinpah, and John Morgan. So we have no official applications or public hearings tonight, but we just wanted to review receipts.
And you can seat your alternates in the absence of.
Oh, even though we're not voting really on anything? Yeah, sure. Why not? Max Kern, would you like to be seated? Because we have absences. And Michelle, would you like to be seated in the first meeting?
Yeah, yes.
Something, yes. All right. So as receipts, we have 25-26, 196 Durham Road. This is a site plan modification for Temple Beth Tikva. And we're going to table it to January 8th, 2026, so that they can go through the wetlands process. Could I have a motion to table it for that meeting?
Right, motion?
Nick, can I get a second? Duza, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, great. Next is 25-28 Bushnell Lane, applicant Linda Faust. This is a subdivision application to legalize division of property from 1957. Sometimes this happens. We get these kind of residual improperly subdivided properties. And that one we'd like to table to our next meeting on December 18th. So could I have a motion?
Motion to table December 18th.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Mike? Bob, you get credit. Any further discussion? All in favor? We're good. Okay, next 25-29 Wargus Road. Owner applicant Ernest Shimino, I guess. This is a request for a zone boundary change to extend the RU2 zone over the entire property. It's currently bisected by a zone line. So part of it is RU1 and part is RU2. And we'd like to schedule a public hearing for this application for December 18th, our next meeting. So could I have a motion for that?
Part of the motion.
Mike Bogda, second. Jeff? Any discussion? All in favor? So that's on the agenda for the 18th as well. Next, 25-30, 142 Boston Post Road. This is a coastal site plan and site plan application to construct a building with 8 residential 1-bedroom units. This is under the CGS 830G. And we'd like to schedule the public hearing for that application for January 8th, 2026, our first meeting in January. I have a motion. Jeff? Thanks.
Second.
Mike, second. Any discussion? All in favor? Thanks. So that's for the January 8th meeting, which is, by the way, it's the second week because of the New Year's Day holiday.
Yeah, you'll have 2 meetings in a row.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row. Plus the regional meeting. 2 that night. Pending applications, we have 25-25, 117 Buffalo Bay. This is a coastal site plan application, which includes demolishing the existing single-family dwelling to construct a new single-family dwelling. And that is pending deep referral. So we'd like to table it to the January 8th, 2026 meeting. Motion to table. Michelle, thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Mike Bogda, and any further discussion? All in favor? Thank you. And I think we're breaking a record here, getting through these within 5 minutes. 25-27, this is 875 Boston Post Road. Owner applicants Janet Peckinpah and Alexander Gerson and Alan Ney. This is the downtown village district major alteration for the installation of a fence and some landscaping. So that is pending approval by ACA So we'd like to table it to December 18th, next meeting. So yeah,
I assume Janet.
recuse yourself. Yeah, she's the applicant.
Yes.
Max, want to make a motion?
Oh, what's?
Thanks. Second. Okay. Any further discussion?
Good.
All in favor? Okay, good. Moving on to the approval of minutes for our October 16th, 2025 meeting, Secretary John Dusan.
Sure. For October 16th, 2025, Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on members present, Snow, Duza, Morgan, O'Connor, Karun, Reinhardt, Rubin, and Downs. Motion for approval.
So moved.
Bob, thanks. Second. I'll take Bob for second. Any comments, edits?
It's good, short and sweet.
Looks like Aaron got it right on target. Vote to approve.
Eloquent.
Great, thank you.
Great. All right, next we have the approval of our 2026 annual meeting calendar. Erin, did you want to make any comments
Sure.
about it?
I'm just pulling up. My copy here. You've kept your same first and third Thursdays of the month. So that has not changed. Any asterisk will just indicate an adjustment because of a holiday. Working around the holiday schedule or a change of meeting location. Sometimes you have to juggle the rooms with early voting or something like that. This year, we updated our meeting schedule to include some deadlines for folks who are applying for public hearings. And also if an application includes a coastal site plan. The reason for that is really to just be a little clearer for applicants to understand how early we need to plan ahead for a public hearing date, mainly because of notice postings, postings of signs, postings of legal notices. And so we just kind of worked backwards to set some deadlines. The coastal regulations changed in the last legislative session and required some mandatory referrals to DEEP. So that may expand what we send to DEEP for comments from their analyst. It's still an option, as it always has been, for the commission to refer any application to DEEP. But when we do make those referrals, you have to allow DEEP 35 days to comment. And so we just adjusted that on our meeting schedule, again, as guidance for applicants to understand that if their particular application triggers a coastal site plan, they're likely not going to be acted on until we have given DEP enough time to comment. So this information is now uploaded on into our online permitting portal. So it's right there before anybody enters to submit an application. And hopefully it will make it a little easier for folks planning their projects.
I think it's great to have the deadlines.
The last item that we added to this meeting schedule, it doesn't affect any of your dates, but just for informational purposes, we are adding a note that indicates applications that are received after close of business, the Monday, the week of the agenda, may not make it onto the actual agenda just because of administrative tasks, involved in posting the agendas in the town clerk's office, getting them up onto the website as well, and some of the back end work. We always try to accommodate applicants, especially if they're minor site plan modifications, things like that, that have the potential of being acted on. And if it's within our means to get them on the agenda, we're happy to do so. But it does not, the fact that it isn't on an agenda does not eliminate the official receipt dates for applications. If applications are submitted timely, they would be received, if they're more than 24 days or 24 hours, excuse me, not days, ahead of the meeting, they would automatically be received at that next meeting. So we'll give it a year of having some clearer deadlines and see if that's helpful to our applicants.
Any questions or comments about the calendar? Question?
Nope, I was thumbs up again.
It's great.
Aaron, really good idea.
Yes, you do need to adopt or approve your annual
Motion to
calendar.
adopt the new 2026 proposed calendar with due dates.
Good. Second,
I would certainly second that.
any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Thank you. Okay, for remarks, first of all, I want to announce to those who don't know, but most of you do, that Bob Reinhardt resigned as of after the November election because he was appointed to the Board of Finance. So we want to thank him for all that he's put into planning and zoning in Madison, including the POCD, which he took a big part in, played a huge role in, and made it a much better document as a result. And we wish him all the best.
Sure.
So onward to Board of Finance he goes. And then I want to introduce Michelle Clark, who is our new alternate, and ask Michelle to say a few words about yourself and your background.
Sure. My maiden name is Davis, born and raised in Madison. My mother still lives in the house I grew up in. And a graduate of Daniel Hand High School before it was the new school, then it was the old school. So I'm thrilled to be part of the Planning and Zoning Commission and give back to the town that I was born and raised in. Professionally, I'm a 20-year plus veteran of the financial services and insurance industry in the technology space. Former software developer, so I've got an SDLC, application portfolio management, and IT operations background in finance, strategy, etc. So I'm happy to apply my brain here.
Thanks. Thank you. Sergey.
Welcome.
Yeah, and welcome.
Welcome.
Is there a pencil and paper then?
Listen, I am old school enough. I do my note-taking with pencil and paper. However, during meetings, I've been trying to step forward into the electronic age, and so I've trained myself that way. I also have to retrain for this.
Yes.
It's all good. We're all adaptable.
Great. Thanks. Erin, did
You're
you
welcome.
have any comments to add?
I did just want to give you, not to keep our 15-minute meeting fair too much longer. I wanted to introduce you, as I had mentioned, probably back at our last meeting in October, that we rolled out our online permitting portal for land use commissions. It was already established for building permits and any administrative zoning approvals that went through our office. But you'll notice that when you click on an application on the agenda, it's going to look differently than it did in the document center of the website. So I just wanted to screen share real quick and kind of walk you
'cause
through
actually,
it.
I was there today and it's completely different.
It is. It looks different.
Good.
We don't have paper applications anymore. So I just used as an example here, our first application that's on the agenda for receipt. Not to go through the merits of the application, but just to walk you through what the applications will look like. It's the same view for the commission and any member of the public. When you come to the landing page, you do not need an account with View Permit or OpenGov to access any of these files. They're all available to the public. If you wish to make an application through the portal, that's when you need to have a username and an account. So all of the applications, we back entered every application from January 1st of this year so that all of the new applications entered match our naming convention that we had started. And so every planning and zoning commission application will have the letters PZC ahead of it. Zoning Board of Appeals will begin with ZBA, Inland Wetlands, IWWA, and the administrative zoning permits just start with a Z. And so we have a landing page where folks, links from our webpage and a description of each type of application and when to apply.
The map is great, by the way, Erin.
Right. So So
Really
it pulls
appreciate that.
information from our GIS and our assessor's records. So you can click on the location details that will give you some background on the property itself. So that is a newer feature that is available through the online permitting. When you click on the location details, I can do that in a new tab just so you can see how it comes through. Hopefully it doesn't log me out. But it will give you the property owner's information, any other previous application for the property. Typically will give you the zoning designation. When you hit details, it'll tell you the building type of use, the map and lot, the volume and page of the deeds for the property, the size of the lot, when it was last improved, whether or not it's a commercial or residential, and of course, the zoning designation. The zoning designations, I would say 90% of the time are accurate, but just keep in mind that the zoning map is the official record for zoning designations. I've noticed a couple of properties throughout town where there may have been a floating zone that landed on a property and that had not yet been updated in the tax records. I've sent a list of those properties to the assessor to bring those up to speed. But generally speaking, the zoning is correct. So here's the actual planning and zoning application. This is for, again, it'll give you the application, the address, the applicant, the application number, when the permit application was created. And this landing page where it says details, this is the actual application form. So the information that used to be in your paper applications is now here where you'll scroll down. The type of application that we have, a title from the applicant, what relevant regulations section is here, a subject, basic summary of the project. If the applicant needs a little more additional space, they can add in the attachment page a full narrative or project narrative. And then some of these are just general.
Wait for a second. The
Yes.
attachment page, is that where do you get?
So that would be here in the files. So I'll pull that page up second.
Okay.
But that is also any document issued with the applications or any files uploaded are all going to be available through this main page. So standard questions like are on all of our other applications, whether or not these basically are the questions up front that trigger mandatory referrals, whether it's for another municipality or watershed, aquifer protection, things like that. That will then better guide staff as to whether or not we need to be sending referrals to any other community. Whether or not there are any easements or deed restrictions, we don't necessarily have to go through all of the items of applications, but all the relevant information will be in here, as well as the coastal boundary application. So if an applicant answers yes, whether or not a property is located in the coastal boundary, an additional section will pop up where they have all of those questions from the coastal site plan application all here. So it will be a combined detail page for the main planning and zoning application if it's a site plan or a special exception, as well as the coastal site plan. If an application is just for a coastal site plan, then that's the majority of the information you'll find.
Cool.
Okay. And as I mentioned, there are attachments. Right now, this particular application has 6 attachments. What we require in the beginning of the application to file the abutting property owner information and the site development plan. And those are what are in the zoning regulations as required. Everything else is additional. Whether the applicant was interested in uploading other documents, staff will be putting our staff memos in here, any correspondence for public hearings from folks speaking for or against an application will come in here. Any other documentations, the photos of sign posting, the abutters, certified mailings, all those things. The only thing that's different is that we had control over the naming convention of documents when we placed them in the document center on the website. And so some of these, as you'll see, this 5636 and the date, that is the way the applicant titled this attachment. So it's not as clear, and staff does not have the ability to rename these so that it's just a little more organized. We don't have the ability to create folders where all the correspondence was. So you may see, you know, for example, if we had a really big public hearing that had a lot of feedback, you could potentially see, you know, 75 documents in the
And
attachments.
Are they in the order that they were submitted or?
It appears that the most recent is on the bottom.
Yeah.
I uploaded this today, so yes.
So yeah, it'll be challenging.
believe that
We
is-
have like 100 letters from the public. Just
So-
through it all.
Right, so anything,
Rarely if ever does that.
No,
right?
but what
thankfully.
happens actually with that is these documents, really only the applicant and whomever the applicant shares access to this application can upload documents for staff. So all the correspondence, like in the past, has come through our land use
Uh-huh.
email address.
Yeah.
So as we download those, we can label them at least clearly.
Okay.
So really the only question is how the applicant is going to be naming certain items.
Right. Okay.
So we'll work through that, and if I can, you know, provide in my staff reports some insight as to what documents are, happy to do that. And then after the commission takes action on an application and a permit or a decision letter is issued through the system, those will then be saved in this section. So and that's to the side, and those will all be public facing as well. Certificates of approval, and so certificates of approval need a live signature, right, for filing on the land records. And so these documents will have, the letters will have a digital signature. The certificates will not have a signature. We still do have to go through the process of mailing certificates, but staff will upload once we have a record that they've been filed. We'll just go back and add them to the attachments. So we're hoping it's streamlined. It's a little bit different look than the last time we've been, you know, the last round that we've gotten used to for sharing applications. But I think from a transparency perspective, it's great and resolves our issues of having to store paper in the office moving forward. So
I agree.
we'll see.
Erin, using this as a case study, there were previous applications for the site plan for the temple.
Yes,
And can we get
that was
those?
my upload today.
Yeah, good.
So
It's helpful to see what
most
initially had approved.
we have scanned that particular application is a modification from a 2019 permit.
Right.
And those were part of our batch of paper files that were sent out to our scanning company to digitize. And what they did was digitize the entire application file into one document. And so that made it very easy to upload the original documents into this application attachments. We have a few years from 2020 to 2025 that when we accepted paper permits, but we were posting them online, they're all individual documents. So in a case like that, if I had to upload 20 separate documents, I think we would try to use Adobe and merge them
Yep.
on staff side and still get them in as one document, just so it's cleaner and easier
Yeah.
for us to
Yeah.
see. Because it could get confusing.
There was also something called, I think, history documents.
So that's a great thing. Let me show you that. It is not in our applications, but okay. So I'm going to go back to location detail, this, at which I have this tab open. So if you are on a property, and this is available to the public, if you searched for an address, it would come up on this landing page. And the records, it has records, building permits, any recent commission applications. Remember, that would only be from October of this year. Administrative zoning permits, health department. So these are, you are able to view these permits, completed or active permits. These are all links that you could look at. And what we did was we had some historic microfiche of building records and health department records. And those were all digitized. And in order to make those better accessible to the public, where you didn't have to come in and use our microfiche machine on the counter to see them, we scanned them and put them in a historical document webpage or link. And so there are no details associated because they're just historic files, but you could click on these and find all sorts of older, a lot of building permit records, anything that has the letter MF. These are the microfiche, old historic microfiche files. And those can all be downloaded and viewed from home. So it saves folks a lot of time having to come in and ask staff to pull these files for them. It does not have yet any of the historic land use permits that we just went through and scanned, all of our paper copies. They are all digitized, but they have not yet been incorporated into Viewpoint Cloud. So folks can contact the land use office, and we can send a PDF of that particular application. Absolutely, it usually comes through as a Google Drive link, and they are all public record. We just have not had an opportunity to incorporate that yet into this process. But it's great. I have a really handy PDF step-by-step how to do that using Town Campus as an example. We're going to post that on our webpage. And it's something, if anybody contacts any of the departments within our suite, the administrative staff can also email that guidance document to folks. But it's been really useful. You know, just residents coming in looking for septic as-built, any kind of old records, site plans. It's a great resource to have now.
It also gives us
and public
appreciation
facing.
for how much goes on that we're not aware of.
That's true.
That's true.
When I poked around and I saw, oh my gosh, look at all these building permits and, health permits, everything. Yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into
Relative to
these.
just one ad.
Well, quite often you see projects in the very beginning phase,
Yeah,
before they've gone through any of
Done.
those construction level drawings and
Right.
and other permits to actually build. So, but it's nice and that's all available
Very
for
good.
folks.
Thank you.
So
Did you guys farm that out, or did you scan everything in-house, or what'd you do?
the digitizing was scanned through a company. But building out the permits, we did that as staff.
Great. Any other questions or comments?
Terrific.
Yeah.
Hopefully we won't have too many glitches.
Find out.
We find out every now and
If
then.
you see anything.
Sometimes the fee doesn't show up and we have to go back in the back end. And so that's
Yeah.
expected, the first few months to see what happens. But so far, so good.
Very good. Thank you.
Excellent. Right, if there are no other comments, questions, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to
Sharon
adjourn.
Souza? Second, Jeff, thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor for adjournment at 7:32. Thanks.
Thank you. Good night, Bob.
Great, guys. Have a good week. See you in a couple of weeks.
See you in a couple weeks.